A few days after lifting the Women's World Cup and following endless press commitments carried out with a beaming smile and a well-deserved headache, the England captain Heather Knight was in her civvies, minding her own business at London Euston. As fate would have it, the big screen in the station replayed the last moments of the final, when Anya Shrubsole yorked Rajeshwari Gayakwad to win it. Barring a few clips online, she had not relived the drama of the 9-run win over India. "I tried to get my head down," says Knight. "But a few people stopped me and were like, oh my god, that's you, it's quite weird, really, and a little bit uncomfortable. But I guess that comes with what happened at Sunday at Lord's." For Knight and her teammates, the scale of their achievement and its global reach will change their lives. Not dramatically at this juncture, though. After Knight completed her media duties, for example, she returned to her flat to do some washing she had forgotten about and which had started to turn. That was quite a low moment. Back to reality. A few days later it was straight down to Exeter to begin preparations with the Western Storm for the start of the Kia Super League. Once the tournament is over, there's a 10-day gap before preparations for the Ashes series in Australia, which begins in October. Knight hopes to use 3 of those days to attend a hen-do in Las Vegas. She is awaiting the England head coach Mark Robinson's approval. That being said, the perks have not been too bad. She enjoyed a jolly on the Friday of the Oval Test between England's men and South Africa, spent time with friends and rubbed shoulders with guitarist Felix White from the Maccabees, one of her favourite bands. It was nice to go to a cricket match as a punter for a change. I was done with media and corporate box commitments by about midday. It was nice to spend the day with a few mates and chill out really. I love the Maccabees and Felix was so nice. There was one alarm on her busman's holiday. Having carried around the World Cup for her morning meet and greets, Knight actually lost the trophy later in the day, only noticing when the England women media manager called to ask where it was. "I thought I had it with me because I had the box. But it was empty. I had a security lady guarding it, but it was literally just a box. I realized I left the trophy with Sky Sports, so I went back to get it after few pims, but it wasn't there anymore. The guard said some woman had walked off with it and it looked a bit dodgy. I was panicked. I thought he'd lost the World Cup. Luckily the dubious-looking lady was from the ECB. Eventually, Knight was back in possession of the trophy, which accompanied her to her pub in South London. It actually got us some free burgers, which was a nice touch. Beyond the odd freebie, agents and sponsors have been looking to tie England's new stars down. While Knight and a handful of other players have representatives assisting them with matters off the field, some do not. As such, the PCA worked quickly after the World Cup to ensure they have the right advice when negotiating deals with prospective agents. There's definitely been a lot more interest, says Knight. There was actually a health foods shop in Kensington that wanted to name a salad after me. I think the offer was free salad for life. I'm not sure what would be in a Heather Knight salad, to be honest. Maybe a bit of halloumi, some chicken, avocado. It'll have to pack a full punch. We'll see what happens. While those at the top of women's cricket in England stand to earn a bigger slice, the rest of the domestic game is keen to grab its own piece of the pie. Since rejoining the Storm, who finished last year's KSL as losing finalist to the Southern Vipers, Knight feels those outside the England setup are hungrier than ever. Coming back, you sense it's a little different. Last year was the first year of the Super League. No one really knew what to expect. But especially with the World Cup, I've come in and people are more focused and more aware of what's required. It's exciting to see where it'll go, and it'll be great for the younger players, the 17 and 18-year-olds in the younger squads, to have that opportunity to be alongside World Cup winners and overseas players. It should be massive for them, and there is so much incentive to do well. Beyond the extra incentives, be they monetary, pride or fame, Knight, as England captain and a 26-year-old whose career witnessed much evolution within the game, is wary. Wary of what such developments might mean for the game's soul. Wary that women's cricket, in scaling new heights, may let its principles fall at the wayside. I think it's going to be quite a tricky period with the women's game now that it's become more professional. With the younger players coming through, there'll be money and things given to them straight away. It'll be quite interesting to see how the game develops, but you hope it doesn't lose that genuine feel that people have. The place the game has come from when a few of us started out, it wasn't even semi-professional. We all know what it's like just to play the game you love and have no money in it. It's something as senior players we have tried to be really conscious about with the younger generation coming through. Her excitement at where women's cricket is headed is palpable. So is her duty of care. The game has been very kind to us. I feel like we need to repay it a little bit.